Hello, lovely souls. So I'm not entirely sure what is going to stream forth here, but I know the intent and the direction. For today's lesson really showed me how the universe responds to my thinking. Because as I was reading the lesson for today, I will not value what is valueless. It literally was what I was experiencing. And not only that, but it used the exact words with what I was experiencing. So it's quite funny how it all works. And so I figured I would let myself share and see what came forward as to these recent experiences. Because I guess in short, what I recognized is that I was valuing the valueless. And valueless is anything that perishes and is not eternal. And it is anything that has to do with the idea of getting, of taking from somebody else. And what I recognized was that over the last few days, an experience has been brought forward in my life to teach me this very lesson. And it began with amazing Tom going out and purchasing what we thought that we needed to help assist us in watching the game. And what that was an opportunity for him to go and buy this thing in form, this antenna in form, and to have the whole experience of us needing to return it because it didn't work for us in the way that we needed it to. And in going back once, it was not able to be returned. And going back the second time, I accompanied him. And what ended up taking place is almost my own will interposed between the will of God, meaning that I wanted to get this $10 back, because in my mind, 9, says Tom, because I wanted to take this $9 and buy Mother's Day flowers instead. So I had my own idea of what I thought that I wanted going into this store. And what ended up happening was, instead of seeing my brothers there behind the counter, I saw separate bodies who were trying to gyp us off. Funny enough, what I was doing was almost gypping them of their $9, right? Because I'm going in there with my own will, adamant that this is what is going to happen, but they're just as adamant of keeping the money, keeping, their part. And so because of that, I was getting exactly what I was giving and not wanting to look at it at that time. And so what that resulted in is us not getting our refund and having to come back another day. And so I got to see first and foremost that I was letting this idea of what I thought I wanted, because I was valuing this $9, thinking that it meant something if we had it or didn't have it, and letting this thought stand in the way of me seeing my brothers. Those behind the counter, and Tom. And Tom. And as this happened just the other day, it carried forth into, I guess, today, even not really knowing it. And what this thought ended up doing was still driving a stake between me and Tom and even our roommates here, because I'd start to justify these ideas with the thoughts of, having to pay for all the food and all the stuff with my car and all the payments that we have and all of this stuff, and thinking that this actually means something, and that in the future it's not going to be provided for because I see, something different now. And so I'm jumping the gun with this. I'm putting everything off into the future, making me feel that that's where my salvation is going to be, instead of realizing that I'm not seeing truly at this moment. And so what ended up happening is, after my talk today on Google Hangout, Tom comes home and we're thinking he's going to exchange this antenna that he bought for $9 for another gizmo and gadget that would be helpful for us to hook up the TV. And he comes home with not that gizmo and gadget that we could use or the refund, but he comes back in buying headphones. And so what does my mind do? Jumps right on that as if that's a big problem. That is a big no-no. We're here trying to get this $10 back, and you go out and you spend more money, and, this is just not working for me, says my ego friend. And so because that took place within my mind, I literally let that stand between us and make me see something that was not there and getting upset at my own thoughts about it. And so what I found was most funny is while I'm in this little bit of a moment, I was inspired to do the course lesson. And the course lesson is exactly what I was just experiencing. And I'm even going to read the sentence because it makes me laugh my face off.
It's hilarious.
Lesson 133. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. And I will repeat, to things you buy, to things you buy. And that is exactly what I was doing. I was concerned about what we were buying and what money we were getting and what money we were not getting and what money we were spending and this whole idea. And this idea of money is valueless. This idea of money is meaningless. This idea of money is not where my safety and security lies. This idea of money is not where my abundance comes from. This number in my wallet or in my bank account means nothing to how much I'm going to have at the end of the month. And yet, no matter what, this is what my mind thinks. The ego mind thinks. It wants me to think that this money can divide us, that this money can separate us, that my salvation is in money. And what's been also extremely hilarious as I've been going on this idea with the, the thoughts of this, needing to get this money back because we need this money to pay for other things, and how dare we not get this refund, bad people at the store. We go over to his mother's yesterday, whom I wanted the $9 for the flowers for, and does she not give us $100? There is also the thought of mine that was like, we need all the money that's in my wallet until the end of the month. Blew it out the window. Totally blew it out the window because that's not true anymore. It's not going to be the only money that I have until the end of the month. Money can come in from so many places, and we get to experience that all the time. And then what happens just after I sit in my mind, experience the lesson, experience the thought reversal of my experience in the last couple days, boom, a donation in my bank account. Like, are you serious? Like, God is here saying, don't worry about it, Brittany. Like, everything is fully and entirely and completely taken care of because you are in heaven. And in heaven is where the laws of God abide, not the laws of man. And therefore, I will have everything I need. We will have everything we want to eat, including this family that we live with. Right? My mind's like, oh, well, now you have 2 kids to take care of and another family, and, it's all up to you, Brit. It's all up to you. Making all this income is all on your shoulders. Because currently, everyone in this home, me and Tom and Ryan and Tabby, none of us have physical jobs. We literally work for God. And so because we work for God and we don't have physical jobs, well, that is opportunity for ego to think that something has gone wrong. For you to think that the world's on your shoulder and you need to take care of it, and it's up to you, and put money first. You got to worry about the money and protecting your family, and then salvation, and then God's will. See how ego separates things? When you have another want or goal of this world, even if it is money, it separates you from the truth of God. Because now you're reaching and seeking for money instead of reaching and seeking for the truth, which is that money is not where the power is, and money is not what's going to supply you, and money is not what is going to protect you. Money means nothing. Money literally is a green paper strip, coins, a fucking number in the bank account, and apparently, ego likes to use this as a means of making us feel separate from each other and from our source. That's it. That is what this world is for. That is what this money is for. That is what every want and goal and idea that we have is for, to make us feel like we're separate from God and each other. And what we're realizing here is that is not where is any value, is any meaning, is any reality. And so beyond all of that, beyond all of it, is the peace and the love of God. And this is why we must empty our mind and unload everything that we have held on to, everything that is the veil before the face of Christ and our brothers. And to know that we are the ones who are responsible for how we feel and how we see it. It has nothing to do with what Tom did or didn't do, or what those guys at the store did or didn't do. It was fully and completely and wholeheartedly how I was seeing it. And so because of that, it opens up the door for me to ask for correction, for me to ask to see this differently, so that I can realize that I've done nothing wrong and they've done nothing wrong, and at the same time that this idea of money, these things that we can buy, is not where the value lies. The value lies in the eternal, which is God's Son, and that is what I am, and therefore I abide by the laws of God and not the laws of man. Period. And yeah. And so with that being said, I'm going to continue to sit with this idea, and I'm going to continue to let it unravel every single last little bit of string that ego has on me with this idea, and I will continue to let my mind be healed. So I extend the story and experience to all of you, so that you may have similar experiences with the Holy Spirit to show you your own thoughts differently, and so that we can no longer value what is valueless. I choose to value what is true, as God created it to be. And so it is. I love you all. Thank you. Bye.